Breaking Redbar news over on the Kill Tony subreddit forum. This is just too good, from an insider who has a scoop about Kill Tony and Tony Hinchcliffe. So it looks like they removed this post, so we're going to go back and find it anyway, because fuck them. Oh, ta-da, and here it is, the deleted post. Some people have noticed that Tony has been extra bitchy to the wonderful and hilarious Kill Tony band. It's much deeper than that. The band and the staff first began to worry that the show was ending for them when they saw Redband tweet that he had bought a house in Texas. Redband, of course, works on the production with them. He's like the audio engineer. The band thought it was odd that literally nobody was talking to them about a potential move. When Tony mentioned on the show that he was leaving for Austin, word is that was the first time he spoke to the band about it at all. The original Kill Tony band all felt like that was very cowardly of Tony. It revealed how Tony really felt about the band, who loved his show so much they were all doing the show for free. I do hope Mike goes over this, by the way. It's going to be way more entertaining than listening to me read this. But I'll continue. So why did Tony do it? He's jealous of Jeremiah. I can believe that. Whenever Jeremiah would get a career opportunity, Tony would get extremely jealous because he knew Netflix and NBC were watching Kill Tony and choosing Jeremiah over Tony. Tony would shit-talk every project Jeremiah did, including Jeremiah's podcast. If you watch Jeremiah's 100th episode congratulations video, there are tons of comics featured in it, but not Tony. Tony sent Jeremiah a video for the segment, but it was so petty, hurtful, and bitchy that Jeremiah couldn't include it in his congratulation video. And I'm starting to feel sympathetic for Jeremiah, who I used to highly dislike. But he is a good person, from what I can tell. Tony was also jealous that the band kept getting sponsorship. Free drums, guitars, and saxophones. Meanwhile, all Tony could get was free pizza and some shitty weed. Tony is a racist. He yelled at Joel Jimenez for 15 minutes straight about how Mexicans are spreading the coronavirus. Jeremiah, who had been backstage rehearsing, tried to find a silly way of changing the subject. Tony snapped in front of everybody and yelled, "You can't tell me what the fuck I can say on my own show." Jeremiah immediately switched from silliness to gentle sincerity, saying, "As a friend, can I ask you to change the subject?" Tony shouted back, "No, you cannot, as a friend, tell me what I can and cannot say on my own fucking show." Tony realized he'd embarrassed himself and then just got quiet. He never apologized, but the next week, the Kill Tony guest was Mexican comedian Frank Castillo, a shameless effort to smooth things over without owning up to anything. And this is where it gets good. This is where they mention Redbar, okay? Tony is very angry about a YouTube review show called Redbar. Redban with an R. Anyway, that's so stupid. Tony was very paranoid that the LA comedy scene was feeding dirt to Redbar, as Tony is mostly hated in that community, which is his own fault. If anyone mentions Redbar, Tony's eyes turn to daggers and he pretends you didn't say anything, even if you're making a joke. If you don't know who Redbar is, check out his YouTube review of the Kill Tony documentary to see why Tony hates him. So Redbar's review of Tony's documentary is called Tony Hinchcliffe is Arrogant and Bossy. Full review. That is on Redbar Radio. I'll post the link below. It's a great video. It's a great review of the chilling documentary that Tony made without realizing how creepy and douchey he actually was being. It's amazing. So you got to watch Redbar's commentary on that. By the time Tony was moving to Austin, 2 of the band members seemed completely over Kill Tony, but the other 2 seemed very hurt that there was no send-off or anything. Tony got a new band who won't tell jokes and steal the spotlight or any Netflix NBC opportunities from Tony ever again. Tony never paid the original KT band, despite bragging about making $400,000 a year. I bet the new band is also working for free. That's what this person says. Tony is a lot like Ellen DeGeneres. They're both short lesbians who spent years secretly treating the staff of their show like dog shit. Ask Josh Martin. Everybody would love Tony if he was nice, but he's an asshole who had one good idea for a show and then ruined it by being a petty, jealous psychopath. Or sociopath, probably more. Yeah. So they deleted this off of the Kill Tony subreddit. This type of information is not allowed. I'm not familiar with the Kill Tony subreddit. I don't know who is running the thing or who's a moderator, because you know how some subreddits will be about a person, but it's just to hate on them. Kind of like the Redbar subreddit is a bunch of haters, as they say, or one hater who just runs the whole place like a crazy person. I don't know if the Kill Tony subreddit is like that, or I think it's actually ran by people who actually like Tony somehow. Somehow there's people that genuinely find him funny and they want to defend his honor. I think that's why they removed this insider scoop from their posts. Can't have it. And any project Tony is involved in, it's not going to jive. It's not going to vibe. And it's ultimately going to have that like negative Tony feel to it. Any project he's involved in, he is the weak link. He's a negative force that sends out jagged ripples of negativity that echo out into eternity. And poor Jeremiah, quit being such a fucking weak cuck. For God's sake, it took Tony breaking up with you for you to get away from him and his abuse. And people will do that to you over and over, different people throughout your life. So Jeremiah, get a spine. That's my only advice to him. Now that all that information is out of the way, Tony being as big of a piece of shit as we already knew, and Tony hating Redbar as much as we could obviously assume. Feel free to click away at this point. I just wanted to get to some news about this channel. I'd like to start a rivalry with Valzac Entertainment. If we could get that going, that'd be great. If you do donate to him or his Patreon, you may do so on my behalf. And if he accepts that donation, he is cucked by me on the internet. So donate to him, but say it's on my behalf. Redbar Radio replay. Valzac was mentioned recently on the most recent Redbar Radio episode. And Jules doesn't realize the shit that guy has talked about her. She must not have heard the shit he said about her, because she said that Valzac Entertainment is on point with his Redbar commentary. Yet he called Jules the hottest ugly chick, okay? Which is categorically false, undeniably untrue. So yeah, let's start a rivalry with that if we can. I'm Team Mules. Mike plus Jules equals Mules. And I can't even bring myself to watch a show that was pre-Jules unless it was just Mike and not anybody else, because the show was a wreck before she showed up. Disorganized, he really needed help. And he always was talking about how he needed help, like second person there helping with the production, with the clips, with getting him a bottle of water when he's thirsty, shit like that. That a wonderful wife like Jules does for him. And not to mention, the people he used to have on his show sucked. They all sucked. And I love Sven, but I don't want to hear half the shit he has to say. Most of it ain't that funny, but it is really funny when they get together and drink. That shit is funny all day long. I'm kind of like Jules in a way that I'm too pretty to show myself on camera. People wouldn't know how to process it and would not concentrate on the content at hand. It's too much of a distraction to be this hot. So forgive me for not being on camera. This is a breaking news Redbar update. Thank you for watching.